Okay, hi, my name is Jennifer Bejarano, and I'm presenting HIV and AIDS in Sub-Saharan Africa. And all this information is based on the 2013 year. Okay, what is HIV and AIDS? HIV is human deficiency virus, and it attacks the natural body's defense. So the virus and the infections are called HIV. And basically, the AIDS acquired immunodeficiency syndrome is the last stage of AIDS. It's the last stage of infections, and one can have HIV without having AIDS, and it takes about 10 to 12 years for HIV to become AIDS. And basically people die not because of the virus itself, but they die because of other diseases or infections or illnesses that they may have. Okay, where is Sub-Saharan Africa located? It is located below Sub-Saharan Africa, of course, and it's all of this down here. And HIVinsight.edu indicates that the population in Sub-Saharan Africa in 2013 is 926 million, and HIV incidence appears to have peaked in the mid-1990s. And all these little dots is one dot for 10 million people who are infected. And as you can see, Nigeria is mostly infected in this area. Okay, who is affected? An estimated 24.7 million people were living with HIV according to Aver.org. It's about 71% of the world's population that has been affected. And in the same year, there was an estimated 1.5 million new HIV infections and 1.1 million AIDS-related deaths. And young women, children, sex workers, and drug use through injections are the most affected by this. And young women have more than 4 in 10 young women new infections occurred between 15 and 24-year-olds. And 45 studies indicated that the relationship between young women and older men is very common, and also it is also associated with unsafe sex. And children, unfortunately, also have HIV and AIDS in this area, and UNAIDS attempted to eliminate the HIV infection through a program called Global Plan, and it's also supposed to keep mothers alive and reduce the HIV in children. And also in 2009 there has been a 43% decline in new HIV infections within children because of the Global Plan, and it does vary between countries. For example, Malawi has 67% and over 50% in Ethiopia, Zimbabwe, South Africa, and Mozambique. Nigeria only has 19% decline. So Nigeria is still with the most HIV in children. And then sex workers, of course, are very high risk. Women sex workers more likely to be infected than male sex workers. And infections in male sex workers was still very high, but it's more high in females. And 86% of sex workers reported they used a condom, while 78% of females reported that they received a free one. And condoms distributions varies within countries because it also depends on the economics. And also the injection of drugs. Surprisingly, HIV transmissions through injection is comparatively low in Sub-Saharan Africa. I mean, it occurs, but it's just not as high as the other ones. And Sub-Saharan Africa versus the world. So these are all adults and children estimated to be living with the HIV infection. And this is, of course, 2013 information. And I could find the most recent one was 2012 for the 2013, if that makes sense. So there was roughly about 35.3 million people living with HIV, And the new HIV infections have fallen by 33% since 2001 worldwide. And then roughly about 2.3 million people became newly infected with the HIV. And new HIV infections declined 52% in children since 2001. Worldwide, 260,000 children became newly infected with HIV in 2012. And some common misconceptions are that you can't get infected by sharing a glass or by kissing, although you can contract it by sharing a toothbrush, sharing needles, sharing razors, and by unprotected sex. And it can be passed from mother to child, which is how most commonly children contract the virus. And that's all my reference page. And yeah.